partnerships, especially in Nigeria, is a businessman, an international business leader, the co-founder of PERTINENCE Group and Chief Executive Officer of Global Group. Welcome with us, Mr. Olorunsheyi, Sunday Olorunsheyi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Mariah.
Have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
So we hear of partnerships, and many entrepreneurs, they build their businesses, but they hear it's a good idea to partner or collaborate with others, but they just always have trust issues. You know, can I trust this person? How do I ensure that at the end of the day we don't have issues in front? So people are always skeptical about these things called partnership. How are you able to create partnerships and sustain them?
All right, thank you. When we talk about partnership, there's really nothing wrong with the concept partnership. It's always with the people. Every time you think partnership, you think collaboration, you think people coming together and achieving more. You know, there's this popular African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together, you go with people. And on several grounds, it has been proven that when people come together, they achieve more. But when you look at people going into partnership, they don't do an assessment of themselves first. Because you have to be the person that you desire to attract. So when you're going into partnership, the first thing is to ask yourself, am I ready for this? Why am I even going into it? Because partnership is not meant for everybody. In most cases, when you're going into partnership, it's because you believe there is something you lack that the other person or persons have. And there is something they have that you lack, you know, vice versa that way. And because of that, you are looking at how can I pitch my tent with these people so we can achieve more together. And when we talk about trust, trust is actually an actionable asset. It's not something that I can wake up today and say, I'm someone that can be trusted. Trust is built over time. You can intentionally structure for trust in your life so that when people work with you, they've come to see that this is the kind of person I can work with, this is the kind of person I can do business with, because we won't live in a world where even people that stole money, they are looking for faithful people to keep it with. So once you have trust, it's a major capital that you bring to partnership.
Can we talk to just the cultural way we are in Nigeria, where we believe, and even is reiterated in our places of worship, where we are all the heads and nobody is the neck. And so, for me, I feel that it makes for a difficult partnership, where you feel that, so I have to be the front-facing one, I have to be the one that is the star, you know, and thereby, even though the result of the partnership is positive, but our ego is so much in, you know, in the forefront that it does not work. Can we talk to that part of us?
Right. I've come to realize that partnerships that have lasted for many years are partnerships that are formed on credible vision. Most of the time when people go into partnership, they go for selfish reasons. There's nothing bad about having selfish reasons for the things you do. But if it's not in on a credible vision, such that you are not doing what you are doing as a businessman, for example, just because you want to make money. You are doing it because you want to solve problems. You know, they talk about coming to the table with your hand, with your head, and with your heart. Now, what that simply means is, if you're doing partnership and you are coming to the table just with your hand and your head, everything will be limited to either what you're told to do or what you know to do. But when you come with your heart, you are in that partnership because you love what you are doing. And because you love what you are doing, the love of it will make you want to remain there. Now, when it comes to the issue of somebody wants to be the head or not, I think it has to do with discussions that people don't hold before going into partnership. There are depths of discussions that you should sit down, have this conversation, understand what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, when crises come, how are we going to manage it? How do we go about sharing money? Like we do say in my own partnership, one of the success code of our partnership is because we shared the money before the money came. Now that money is available, we are not struggling, we are not fighting over money. Because most partnership, what kills it is greed. But in our own case, before the money came, when there was no money, we sat down with calculator and worked. When we make this is how it's going to be shared. And because nobody was having a superiority mentality when we started, so everybody felt good about what we have agreed. And when the money came, and because every man has an element of greed, no doubt about that. Right. But when you come into partnership with a credible vision and a proper documentation of what you want to do from one phase to another, it's easier to manage the issue of leadership.
Let me get more questions for you. Go ahead, BC.
Yeah, okay. So this partnership issue. So I realized that recently that a lot of people want to collaborate and get into partnership. But when it starts, you realize that there are certain characteristics that they have that would not allow for transparency or allow for feedback. So you give feedback that, okay, this is what we did. This is what came out of it. You did this thing that is not really nice if we're going to be working as a group. And the person chooses to take a high road to say, no, what I did is not wrong. And this is how it's going to be. And I've seen that it stopped a lot, especially women coming together. It stopped a lot of women coming together because these little foxes that we don't really pay attention to comes into play. And, you know, after a while, just, okay, can we just do our things all alone? What are some of the characteristics that we would begin to have if we're looking to go into lasting partnership as a person? So you're talking to people who I may want to collaborate with Moriah tomorrow, and I'm asking myself, what characteristics should I have as BC so that when we get there, we're not going to have all these small issues that will not let us go far?
All right, thank you. To start with, everyone that wants to go into business partnership must first ask yourself, why do I want to go into this partnership? Because when the purpose of a thing is not known, they say abuse is inevitable. Now, people go into partnership in most cases because they feel they are deficient in a particular skill or resource required to run the stuff. Deep down inside, if you ask them, they would have loved to go solo. So ordinarily, partnership is not their thing. They only went into it because they found deficiency in one area or the other, and they felt, okay, if I can bring this partner together, maybe the person is more experienced, has more money, technically sound, you know, all of those factors. You look at that and you attract people. It's not bad, because every partnership that will succeed, you need both capacity and also complementary skills, because there are things you won't have, the other person will have. But every time you go into partnership, and that is the only reason why you are going into it, somehow you have signed in for failure even before starting. Partnership should be because you have common value. Value system is very important. Now, if, for example, when we're starting, just like you said, things look good, you agreed easily. But the time will come when challenges, it could even be good opportunities that will show up. But because your own value system do not align with the expectation from that opportunity, you might have a reason to say, no, we're not doing this. And this other guy is saying, what's bad about it? I give a practical example. Maybe you're both into a business and together you're running real estate. And one of the partners just came and said, see, let's add betting to our business. And we are saying, betting? No, we never discussed this before we started. And the guy said, no, this is a money-making opportunity. And you are saying, no, for you, you feel it's ethically wrong for you to go into betting. Problem starts right from there.
Wow.
And it's simply because people went into partnership because of what they don't have. But if you go for value, look out for value first. Your value system must align.
That's a question before I go on a break.
So I know that there was an agreement. You guys had an agreement before starting. And it's usually many people go into partnership into Nigeria right here with, you know, good conscience. You like me, I like you. You know, we feel like we love each other. We don't write anything. We don't have like a written agreement on good and bad. We don't have someone we both respect coming that is overseeing and ensuring we both keep our parts of this. Can you break down how you wrote your agreement, the years you guys can now do other business, the sacrifices that you expected each other to make?
All right, thank you. if you're going into partnership and you don't have any form of documentation, I want to say live here that you have not started at all. That should be the first thing. After you have held conversation, you should come to a table where you can document. Now, our own business partnership has lasted for over 10 years. When we started, the first thing we did was to document how we want this partnership to run. We ensure that we had a credible vision that is focused on people. So every time you ask us what we tell you we're in the people business. We might have other things we're doing, but in the people business. Now, because that documentation was first done between both of us, it was easier to bring in a lawyer to say, now both of us have decided to go into this partnership. These are the things that we expect, and this is how we want to do. And we got legal advice. And the document stated a number of things. For example, when it comes to commitment, we knew any partnership that will succeed requires 100% commitment. Now, this was the formula we used. I have 50% of the company, my business partner has 50%, but at the end of the day, we bring 100% into the business. So we required him to bring his 100%. I brought my 100%. So when I approach the partnership, I'm not approaching it like, if I don't do it, the other person will do it. I approach it like, if I don't do it, nobody will do it. So we add that in our agreement. We told ourselves too, for the first 5 years, you can't do any other thing. So it's more like burning your bridges. That's commitment. Now, I had my own certificate, I had skill set, I'd done a number of things before the partnership came together, but I had to forgo everything. He did same, and we said for the first 5 years we are building. It's either we succeed or we succeed, if you understand. So we gave it all. So those are basic things that helps when it comes to documentation.
Our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guests, and we're going to be wrapping up very soon. I know you've discussed the fact that everything must be documented, and the vision of both must be aligned and must be credible vision. But there's some intangibles, like ideas. Somebody says, you know what, I have the idea, I don't have the ability or the administrative or the not even the sources. I have the sources. So you have ideas and you have the contacts. Can that be documented in a partnership where all I'm bringing is ideas and where you, because usually when somebody has an idea and the business now flourishes, like, it was my idea now.
But it's your money.
How can you document idea or put value on idea or contacts? How do you, because it's easy to say you bring it equity, but those intangibles, how do you value it in a partnership?
I want to start by saying this conversation, we can't complete it here.
Of course.
That's why my business partner and myself, we've authored a book on partnership, because we checked around, we don't have too many of it in Nigeria. And where there is a knowledge gap, there will always be crisis.
Yes.
So what we did was to put this together in almost 300-page book that will be out on the 15th of this month. So people should just look out for it and get a copy. Now, coming to what you have said, it's always good to bring a third party into drafting your document. It's very important because there are intangible assets and there are tangible assets. Now, you can be coming to the table and all you have right now is intangible. Just like you said, you cannot say it's $50,000. You can't say it's a particular certificate you have acquired from going to maybe some of the Ivy League school thereabout. All you have is idea, that is quality. So if you have a third party like we did, come to sit down with you and look at what each person has, and you are able to agree from the beginning the value of whatever you're bringing to the table, it will prevent problem in the future. The reason why people fight over money is because they don't share the money before the money comes. If you wait for the money to come to share it, for example, you are organizing...
We have to run. We can't do that again. Right. But I think that's a good way to end that segment, where you share the money before the money comes in any partnerships. So let us speculate, or let us project. So
this is the only case where you can count your chickens before they
count the chicken and then agree.
Imagine the figure.
Yes. So, but as I said, we have to bring it back for a proper analysis. Maybe we'll spend the whole segment with you, a proper segment where we analyze partnerships, and we will study your book, and then maybe from there we'll take some ideas and have things to discuss, because this is an important way. If we're going to grow businesses in Nigeria, we need sustainable partnerships, and this is one thing that we must do. On the show. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Come back. We'll bring in our next guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.